Welcome back, fight fans. Welcome back. Come on in. Come on in. Let's get it. Let's get it. Kevin, my brother, salute. Salute. Let's just go ahead and get it. If you're coming into the live stream, go ahead and hit that like button because we're going to be honest and unbiased when we come in here. We're going to be 100% real about everything. I see you, Omar. Salute. Salute. And you know what? We just got a lot to debunk. We got a lot to get to. We got a lot to expose. We got a lot to break down. I see you, DJ. Detroit's in the building. Salute, my brother. Salute. And the first thing that we're going to debunk, and the first thing that we got to come out here is all this Anthony Joshua hate. But we also got to get into this Ruiz, Ruiz making excuses. Then we also got to get into Jermall Charlo's cherry picking, Jermall tune-up Charlo, Jermall who is our fault Charlo, and we got to get these fanboys. So let's just get it. Let's just get it. Israel, Jaho, Andres, D-Boy, I see you. So let's go ahead and start, and let's just get it in and be honest and unbiased. And the first thing I do is I have to slay some fanboys. Mary Russell, you said you wanted to smoke. Step in the chat and come get it, because Mary Russell said, what's the difference between what Anthony Joshua did to Andy Ruiz and what Errol Spence did to Mikey Garcia? But you gave no love to Errol Spence, but you gave it to Anthony Joshua. First of all, this is the difference. If people are comparing Anthony Joshua and Errol Spence to Mikey Garcia and Andy Ruiz, is a straight up idiot, because you don't understand the difference. This is what I mean. You got Mikey Garcia coming up 2 weight classes, getting outboxed by Errol Spence Jr. That's nowhere near the same. That's nowhere near the same. Andy Ruiz was a world champion who's a heavyweight, who outweighed Anthony Joshua by almost 50 pounds. Anybody that can't see the difference in that is an idiot. I'm sorry. That's not even up for debate. Mr. Perfect, where are you at, you coward? You come out here saying this stupid stuff. This idiot says, Anthony Joshua, he was running around and hugging. First of all, if Anthony Joshua was running around and hugging, then how did he land more punches than Andy Ruiz Jr.? Andy Ruiz is the one who didn't let his hands go. Andy Ruiz was the one taking all the punishment. Andy Ruiz is the one that got beat up and humiliated. He got exposed and debunked for the guy he was. Period. There's no point to that. There's no point to that. And then let's touch on Jermall Charlo real quick. Jermall tune-up Charlo. Jermall, who have I fought Charlo? Jermall, I'm fighting tomato cans Charlo. First of all, let's break down Jermall Charlo. Jermall Charlo had a spectacular knockout of a tomato can. Do you understand what I'm saying? Of a tomato can. And then you got idiots out here defending this like it's a good thing. So Jermall Charlo can beat up on a tomato can, and we're talking about him like he just went out and beat a top-level, elite-level name, a guy that's coming off a loss, moving up in weight. You're going to give him credit for. You're an idiot. Kelly Park, you're an idiot. See, that's the problem with Charlo. He don't want any real smoke. He's fighting bum fights. He had an opportunity to fight Canelo, but he passed on it. You know why he passed on it? Because he wanted to fight trash in tomato cans. Had he actually fought Demetrius Andre, anybody that was really, why hasn't he fought Sergey Deverenchenko? Sergey Deverenchenko has been calling out who? Jermall Charlo for 2 years. Why has Jermall Charlo ducked him? Answer that. Answer why Jermall Charlo has not answered to Sergey Deverenchenko in over 2 years, calling him out. Because he's not keeping that same energy. He wants Canelo Alvarez to knock him out. He's a paper champion, and he shows that every fight by fighting weak opposition. He didn't have to fight Dennis Hogan. He could have fought Sergey Deverenchenko. He could have fought a better name, but he didn't, because he wants trash fights to build up his resume. Stop playing. Anthony Joshua dominated Andy Ruiz Jr. And that's not even, and let's go through what these fanboys have been putting on my page. They said Anthony Joshua quit. They said Anthony Joshua was overrated. They said Anthony Joshua was a hype job. Anthony Joshua should change trainers. He needs a warm-up fight. He gets hurt in sparring. He's cashing out. He'll lose again. He'll retire. This is what they said about Anthony Joshua. And he come in and dominated this dude. It wasn't even close. And we all know why Andy Ruiz won the first fight. Because he was intentionally punching Anthony Joshua in the back of the head, and he tried to do it in the second fight. Anybody that disagrees with that is a fanboy, because you saw Andy Ruiz's only chance of any success in the second fight was attempting to punch Anthony Joshua in the back of the head. In the back of the head. If you don't see that, you don't understand it, then you're a fanboy, because you've seen it over and over and over. Andy Ruiz was intentionally looking to punch Anthony Joshua in the back of the head. That was his entire game plan. His entire game plan was to punch him in the back of the head. Anthony Joshua was not running. He was boxing and outboxing, dominating Andy Ruiz. He landed more shots on Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz looked like his feet were stuck in quicksand. These are the same fanboys. When I told everybody, I said, look, Anthony Joshua has better footwork than Andy Ruiz Jr. I must have got 1,000 comments that told me, no, Andy Ruiz has the best footwork I've ever seen. Andy Ruiz, he has elite level footwork. He has elite level foot speed. What are you watching? You guys are taking fanboyism to the next level. We don't play that fanboy side. I don't care what race you are. I don't care who you are. We got to be real. We got to be 100% unbiased. And the realness is Andy Ruiz has terrible footwork compared to Anthony Joshua. It's average at best. It's average at best. His hand speed is elite. His foot speed is trash. Come on now. Why didn't Andy Ruiz want to let his hands go? Because he felt Anthony Joshua's power and he didn't want to get knocked out. He never fully attacked Anthony Joshua because he was scared of that power. He felt that power and he kept getting his neck snapped back. It wasn't on Anthony Joshua to go out and prove something to these fanboys by knocking this dude out. No, it was on Andy Ruiz Jr. to keep his belt. But he got dominated. So what was the point where Andy Ruiz Jr., because everybody said Anthony Joshua was going to get outboxed. Where was he supposed to get outboxed? They said Andy Ruiz was going to get was going to school Anthony Joshua. And they said Andy Ruiz was going to cut off the ring with a spectacular footwork. But he didn't. Show me something. Show me something. Mr. Perfect, you are a fanboy. You are a fanboy. Give me one fact and we can debate. Give me one fact and we can debate, because you got to stop. You got to stop. So if he ran the whole fight, why did he land more punches than Andy Ruiz? Why did he land more punches than Andy Ruiz? Explain that to me, because you're an idiot and you don't understand boxing. Explain that to me. You can't. Anthony Joshua dominated this man. He dominated him. See, you got to take your feelings and your emotions out of it, and you got to look at the unbiased facts. Facts can't be biased. And Anthony Joshua landed more punches and dominated Andy Ruiz from beginning to end. Andy Ruiz may have, if you're lucky, you may have given him one round. And every time that he got close, he was trying to hit Anthony Joshua in the back of the head. Stop playing. I told you guys from the beginning that Anthony Joshua uses height and reach advantage, and Ruiz won't be able to get in. And if he can't get in, he will get dominated. That's exactly what happened. You guys don't understand that. You guys don't understand that. He boxed absolutely beautiful. And he was in there mixing it up with Andy Ruiz. And Andy Ruiz kept trying to hit him in the back of the head. Anybody that doesn't understand that is a fanboy. And now they're comparing him to Floyd Mayweather. So if he's Floyd Mayweather of the heavyweight division, Floyd Mayweather is one of the greatest fighters we've ever seen. You got to put your bias aside and give the honest truth and facts. Anthony Joshua put on a boxing clinic. There's no need for a third fight. Andy Ruiz got dominated. He got dominated. It wasn't even close. It wasn't even competitive. There was nothing Ruiz could do. And now he's making excuses. He's making excuses. I'm not going to come in here and protect nobody's feelings. I'm just not going to do it. If you cannot make an adjustment, hold on. Let's expose him. He said he kept hugging Ruiz and then running, not boxing. Now Floyd's style is not running, but what Joshua did was running. Explain this to me, Mr. Perfect. If you're in here and you support the IBFP, hit that like button. Let me expose Mr. Perfect. Anthony Joshua kept a jab in Ruiz's face all night long. All night long, he kept a jab in his face. Andy Ruiz couldn't even adjust to the jab that was being splat in his face the entire night. Andy Ruiz didn't have any of the skills, the power, the technique to do anything to Anthony Joshua, period. And then hugging, when Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz got inside, when he got inside on Andy Ruiz started hitting him in the back of the head. Anthony Joshua had to grab him because the ref was not stepping in. Explain to why his only game plan was to try to hit Anthony Joshua in the back of the head. Explain that to me. Explain that to me. Because you don't want the truth. You don't want the truth. See, these dudes don't want the truth. These dudes want to protect their biases, their race, their favoritisms, because they don't like Anthony Joshua, because you want to big up Andy Ruiz. Look, I give Andy Ruiz his credit. He got the job done in the first fight. Second fight, he was pretty much exposed for who he was. Anthony Joshua was focused, he was on point, and he dominated. He dominated him. Everybody that came in here and said week after week, and I know why Mr. Perfect is mad. I know why Mr. Perfect is mad. I know why Luis Vargas is mad. I know why he's mad. Let me explain to you why these guys are mad. Because these are the same guys. Look at Luis Vargas smiling, smiling, smiling. He wears a Stanford shirt because he couldn't get into a school like that. Because he obviously stupid. Let me explain to you. Let me explain to you this. These are the same guys that said Anthony Joshua quit in the first fight. The same guys that said he was overrated. The same guys that said he's a hype job. The same guys said that he should change trainers. The same guys that said he needs a tune-up fight, that he gets hurt in sparring, that he's cashing out against Andy Ruiz, that he'll lose again. He's the same guy that said Anthony Joshua retired. And now look how stupid he looks. Look how stupid he looks. It's a fact that Anthony Joshua kept a jab in his face all night. That's a fact, Luis. That's a fact. You know what else is a fact? You know what else is a fact? That he landed more punches than Andy Ruiz Jr. That's a fact. Another fact is that Andy Ruiz Jr. did not let his hands go. Why didn't he let his hands go, Luis? Because he felt that power, because he kept getting his neck snapped back, because if he knew that he went in with everything he got, he would have got stopped. Let's stop playing. We know the truth. He didn't want to mix it up with AJ for real. He wanted AJ to come to him and hit him in the back of the head, because that was his entire game plan. These dudes are in their feelings. Get out of your feelings. If you're in your feelings, then this ain't the channel for you, because we don't discuss feelings. We discuss facts. And we understand the facts is a jab was pumping in his face all night long. All night long, a jab was in his face. Andy Ruiz Jr. is not the fighter that you thought he was. Let's be real. And neither is Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua showed you there's levels to this. There's levels to this. This is how stupid Kelly Park is. Let me explain to you how stupid Kelly Park is. Let's expose this. He said, Ruiz just didn't train as hard. That's all. You know what's funny is that Ruiz came out and stated, even in the midst of making excuses, he came out and stated that he had already lost more weight. He did lose the weight. He was in great shape. And then he put on weight strategically. He said that to try to beat Joshua. It was a flawed and stupid game plan. So he did train, but he knew he was done. He knew he was done. See, that's the problem with these guys. They don't want the truth. They don't want the facts. They don't want what's real. These guys don't want it. Andy Ruiz Jr. was dominated, and he's making excuses. There's no need for a third fight, because Anthony Joshua could literally do the exact same thing. And when was the referee going to call all those back of the head shots? Andy Ruiz Jr. against Adam Kornacki, that's a good fight. Andy Ruiz Jr. against anybody is an entertaining fight. But Anthony Joshua put out the blueprint on how to. Andy Ruiz, and remember this. Andy Ruiz Jr. had never been dominated in his career by anyone. And Anthony Joshua dominated this man from beginning to end. Dominated. It wasn't close. It wasn't, a competitive fight. This was a schooling. Anthony Joshua is the best heavyweight in the division, in the world. There's no heavyweight anywhere near close to what Anthony Joshua can do, because Anthony Joshua shows you that he can fight in different styles. Anthony Joshua shows you he can box like Tyson Fury, and he can slug like Deontay Wilder. He shows you he can do it all. Anthony Joshua can do it all, period. He says, who do you think AJ should fight next? I think Anthony Joshua should fight one of his mandatories, Kubrat Pulev, because he's with Top Rank. And if he has to vacate a belt, vacate the WBO, because Usyk and Chisora is on the matchroom side. So then they can get that belt right back in another unification fight. That's what makes sense. I think he should take Pulev next, let Chisora and Usyk fight for that belt, and then fight them at the end of the year. I think that makes perfect sense. And I guarantee you, the way AJ fights Usyk, the way AJ fights, Pulev, would be completely different from the way that he fought Ruiz. Because this is what people don't understand. Styles truly do make fights. Styles make fights. Wilder has fought nothing but tomato cans and old men. Name one good fighter that Deontay Wilder has beat. Just one. Anybody. because Luis Ortiz is 1,000 years old and he didn't beat Tyson Fury. So name one good fighter that Deontay Wilder beat. And you forget, he didn't knock out Bermane Stiverne in that first fight. See, people want to be fanboys, but they don't even understand what's going on. They don't even understand what's going on. And look at Anthony Lamar with his fake jury on. You can't come in here with fake jury and then fake comments. These dudes don't want what's real. They don't want the truth, and they don't want unbiased facts. That's what they don't want. Ortiz has never been a world champion. Luis Ortiz has never been a world champion, period. Anthony Joshua dominated Andy Ruiz Jr. It wasn't close. It was not even close. It was not close. This guy says the fight was boring like the Mayweather fights. Now, first of all, if the fight was boring, whose fault was that? It was Andy Ruiz's fault. Because who was the one not throwing punches? Andy Ruiz Jr. So if it's Andy Ruiz's fault for not throwing punches, so if the fight was boring, you need to get that same energy to Andy Ruiz Jr. You need to blame Andy Ruiz because he was the one getting punched in the face. He was the one eating the jab all night, not Anthony Joshua. So if you want to blame somebody for a boring fight, blame Andy Ruiz Jr. Blame Andy Ruiz Jr. Period. It was a schooling. These guys just hate Anthony Joshua. They just hate the fact that Anthony Joshua put on a masterclass. Unbiased or biased boxing talk is 100% real. Deontay Wilder, how can you be the number one heavyweight? How can you be the number one heavyweight when you ain't fought nobody? You lost to Tyson Fury, but they gifted you a draw, and you fight nothing but old men. Who name one good opponent? THT 3000. Name one good opponent Deontay Wilder beat. Just one. Name one. If Anthony Joshua can't take a hit, then why'd he beat Vladimir Klitschko, Dillian White, and why'd he dominate Andy Ruiz Jr.? When did you see Anthony Joshua down in this fight, idiot? See, this is the same guy that's wearing fake jury, and he's talking about something like it's real. I can't trust a man wearing fake jury because everything you say is fake. Give me something real. Give me something real. No, they didn't both suck. Andy Ruiz sucked. Anthony Joshua kept a jab pumping in his face the whole night. If he wanted to do something, he should have came to Anthony Joshua and put on the pressure. Why didn't he do it? Because that jab was pumping in his face the whole night long. If it was boring, it's Andy Ruiz's fault. Put the blame on Andy Ruiz for not letting his hand go because he was scared. Look at Anthony Lamar. He can't name one good opponent that Deontay Wilder beat. Name one. Name one. See, these guys don't want it. These guys don't want it. We don't need a trilogy. Anthony Joshua dominated. Hold on. He said Anthony Joshua can't beat Ortiz. Then why did Ortiz turn down $7 million to fight Anthony Joshua, stupid? Take off the fake chain for your neck turn green, boy. Come on, now these dudes don't want it. Gerald Washington is garbage truck juice. And repeat after me. Garbage truck juice is Gerald Washington. These dudes don't understand anything that's going on. These dudes don't want the smoke. They don't want what's the real. They don't want the truth. Anthony Joshua dominated this man, and it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. This is the same Anthony Joshua they said was overrated. Anthony Joshua stopped Luis Ortiz easy, and he doesn't lose all those rounds that Deontay Wilder did. Come on now, stop playing. If you support the IBFP, if you love IBFP Raw, go ahead and give me that thumbs up. Give me that like, because I need it. Salute. And let's keep it going because these guys don't want it. Let's address Jermall Charlo a little bit because Jermall Charlo's out here fighting nobodies. He's fighting a dude coming off a loss, moving up in weight. And you got these same idiots and fanboys out here bragging like Jermall Charlo's out here beating top-level competition. Who is Jermall Charlo beat? Who is he beat? Nobody. Nobody. Flamon says Ruiz reign on top was short like leprechauns. And look, his 15 minutes was up. His 15 minutes is up. He was being destroyed. It's not even close. All Jermall Charlo does is cherry pick. That's all he does is cherry pick and bum bash. He's beating up on tomato cans all day. This dude don't want to fight nobody real. This dude don't want anything. So why did Charlo say, what does he get for fighting Demetrius Andre? Why didn't he fight Demetrius Andre when he had the chance? Explain that to me, Anthony. Why is he avoided a Sergey Deverenchenko fight for 2 years? Sergey Deverenchenko was calling him out in 2017. Explain that to me. Explain why he didn't fight him. Explain that to me. Explain why Charlo has not fought Sergey Deverenchenko in 2 years and they're on the same side of the street. And then here's the worst thing about Jermall Charlo. He's comparing himself to Bud Crawford, saying it's hard for him to get the big fights. Sergey Deverenchenko is a good fighter on his side that he could fight, but he won't take the smoke. What are we talking about? Demetrius Andre called him out, and he won't take the smoke. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Anthony Joshua is the best heavyweight, hands down, in the heavyweight division. It's not even close. Salute to the whole UGC boxing channel, the realest boxing talk, true boxing talk. You know, facts can't be biased. Let's stop playing. We know the truth. Anthony Joshua destroyed Andy Ruiz Jr. And Black, let me explain to you something, Black. These are the same guys that said Anthony Joshua would quit. These are the same guys that said Anthony Joshua was trash. The same guys that said Anthony Joshua was overrated. The same guys that said Anthony Joshua was nobody. And he came out and dominated this man. Dominated their hero. If your hero is Andy Ruiz Jr., after a dude that only wants to hit people in the back of the head, if that's your hero, because it shows that he had no boxing skills. Andy Ruiz said Anthony Joshua was not good at boxing. The rematch will be the same. And all of these fanboys came out and said, you're absolutely right. And I was like, no, it's not like that. Then they said, I'm crazy. Well, if I'm crazy, then why did Anthony Joshua outbox and school this dude? Explain that to me. Explain that to me. Anthony Joshua dominated this boy, outboxed this boy, and he had nothing for him. Nothing for him. Come on now. This is vindication. Andy Ruiz, there was nothing he could do because he can't overcome height, reach, or ring IQ. Andy Ruiz even had a low ring IQ because the only thing he could do, the only adjustment he could make was try to hit him in the back of the head. Salute to the UGC. He says their hero spent most of training camp at the buffet. That's all he did. He was at the buffet making up excuses. Making up excuses. These dudes don't want the truth. Come on now. Valiant Boxing says he knows the sport. I know you're in here. Where you at, brother? He don't want to show his face. He's the same guy that said Andy Ruiz Jr. was paid to lose. See, this is what happened when you got guys that are coming out here with nothing real to say. See, Deontay Wilder is sick. You know why Deontay Wilder is sick? All you can eat promotion. So little to Playboy 24. Do you know why Andy Ruiz is sick? Do you know why? And Deontay Wilder, do you know why? Because these guys were hoping that he could get lucky against Anthony Joshua a second time, and Deontay Wilder would never have to fight AJ. That's what it really was. Deontay Wilder don't want to fight AJ because AJ can outbox Wilder and AJ can knock out Wilder. That's what we both know. This is the same Deontay Wilder that was rocked by nobody in Eric Molina. This is the same Deontay Wilder that's been on the canvas before. This is the same Deontay Wilder that needed help from a doctor in the first Luis Ortiz fight. This dude, Deontay Wilder, has never fought a top-level, elite-level opponent. Stop playing. Stop playing. Stop playing. Deontay Wilder is not on any level of Anthony Joshua. He's never fought a real opponent. He's never beat a real opponent. He fought Tyson Fury, and they had to rob Fury. They had to rob Fury to make him look good. Ruiz is nowhere near Anthony Joshua's level. We all know that. We all know now that Anthony Joshua in that first fight was a fluke because he came out and destroyed Andy Ruiz in the rematch. It wasn't competitive. And remember, they said that Anthony Joshua couldn't box. He said that Anthony Joshua was a robot. So where was the robot at in this fight? Show me the robot. Show me the robot. Show me the robot. Show me the robot. We got a fanboy in the building. He said destroyed. Check out the first fight. See who really got destroyed. You're talking about Anthony Joshua got destroyed because he got hit in the back of the head with illegal shots from Andy Ruiz. Are you happy about that? First of all, my brother, you need to grow some facial hair before you step on here talking like a man, because you got long hair and no facial hair. Until you can come on here talking like a man and speak some real facts, you ain't got nothing to say to me. You have nothing to say to me. Andy Ruiz Jr. was living off of hitting this man in the back of the head and tried to do it again. But you think you can come on here with no facial hair, looking like a bald catfish, and you want to talk crazy. What are you talking about? This is a fanboy at his best. These dudes don't want the truth. These dudes don't want the truth. These guys don't want the truth. We giving you nothing but facts. We giving you nothing but the truth. They said Anthony Joshua was a robot, a guy who couldn't adjust, a guy who had no chin. If Anthony Joshua had no chin, then why didn't he get dropped and stopped in this fight? Explain that to me. Explain that to me. Because if you want to make a casual statement, you're going to get exposed and debunked right here on Raw. And you know what? I'm going Raw a lot this week because I got to go in on these fanboys. If you support the IBFP, give me that thumbs up. I don't have enough thumbs up. I don't have enough likes. Give me enough likes so we can keep going Raw. These dudes don't want the truth. They don't want the truth. Dude looking like he finna go fishing, looking like a bald catfish, but you ain't got no facial hair, but you want to talk like a man. Say it with your chest, boy. These dudes don't want it. Bald catfish promotions. These dudes don't want it. Look, they said Anthony Joshua would get outboxed. Where did Andy Ruiz outbox him? Where? Where? Explain that to me. Explain that to me. Explain that to me. And look at his boyfriend, Ruiz, comes in exposed by offending people. If you're offended, then the IBFP is not for you. If you're offended, then the IBFP is not for you. You need to go find soft boxing channels where you can go cry over Andy Ruiz in private, because this is not where it is. I'm going to tell you something that's going to hurt your feelings, because if you think you can step in the chat and fanboy for a dude and you have no facts, then show me what Andy Ruiz Jr. did. You said Anthony Joshua couldn't box. You said he sucks. Explain to me why he dominated Andy Ruiz Jr. in this fight. Explain that to me. See, this is the problem with these dudes. They get on here and they start crying, and then they don't want the truth. Then they don't want the truth. Come on now. These dudes, they're like, you got to let this man's pockets go. He a grown man. He can speak for himself. But you want to get on here and defend another grown man. What are you talking about? I'm giving you none but facts. If you don't like the facts, then the IBFP ain't for you. If this is really not for you, this is real boxing talk. This is true boxing talk. The IBFP is not for you if you don't like the truth. If you don't like the truth. You're the one coming on here critiquing and making bias and false claims, and then coming on here looking like a bald catfish. I didn't make you come in here looking like that. I didn't make you post that picture. I gave you the facts, and you had no facts. Give me a fact. Give me a fact. The fight was boring because Andy Ruiz didn't want to throw punches, because he didn't want to get knocked out. That's why the fight was boring. These dudes don't want the truth. These dudes don't want the truth. I can't play with these guys. I can't play with these dudes. This is true media over here. This is true media over here. If you don't want it, if you in your feelings, if you sensitive, if you want to cry, then you need to go somewhere else. You need to go to Bias Boxing Ego. You need to go somewhere else. Come on now. Come on now. Who is the king of rabbit punchers, Wilder or Ruiz? You know what? They tied right now. They tied right now. Because both, that's all they do. That's the game plan. Hit a guy in the back of the head. Come on now. Catfish Promotions. Come on now. Let's stop playing, because these dudes don't want the truth. Come on now. Truth is the new hate. He's absolutely right. Truth is the new hate. Salute to Tim. Salute to my brother Tim. Tim is one of the real ones. Look, these dudes don't want the truth. These dudes want to cry and get upset. And then, come on. Look, Remy speaks the absolute truth. I get disrespected all week. And then when I give you that same energy back, you feel in your feelings. You get in your feelings. You get in your feelings. Look, if you come on here and name a fact and debate, I won't roast you. But what you tell me is a lie. So then in turn, you feel like you got the need to lie to me. I get the need to roast you, because you roasting yourself. Because you come in here lying, and then I expose you, and then I have to roast you. That's the way this works. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. They knew they had a family before they stepped in here. You don't come in here and start lying and then expect not to get destroyed. Come on now. I'm a fan of boxing. Boxing comes first. And so if boxing comes first, we have to be real. We have to be real. If boxing comes first, we have to be real. Come on now. Andy Ruiz Jr. did not let his hand go because he was feeling the power of those shots and didn't want to get destroyed. That's really all it was. He didn't want to get knocked out. His claim to fame was, I can survive going 12 rounds with Anthony Joshua, and I won the first fight by hitting him in the back of the head. That's all it was. These dudes don't want the truth. They don't want what's real. They just don't want it. They don't want it. They don't want it. They do not want it. See, that's the problem with these guys. The best fighters in the world, Anthony Joshua. He's one of the best fighters in the world. Period. 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 And these guys don't want the truth. They can't handle the truth. Hold on. Vicious comes on here and says, battle my boy BFTB on his channel. Why would I go to somebody else's channel that's the B side? Why would I go to somebody else's channel that's the B? If I'm the A side, why would I go to somebody else's channel that's the B side? If he got a problem, if he want to debate with facts, I'll send him a link. He can get on here and he can debate me and I'll be respectful of him. But if he gets disrespectful, if he gets out of line, he's getting roasted. And now this is the same dude that comes on here with 2 fake gold chains and no facial hair. You look like a bald catfish too. Come on now, don't come in here with all this fake jewelry on and trying to represent another man. Why would I go to somebody else's channel that's a B-side? Stop playing. If he want to debate, if he want to battle, tell him to step into the IBFP and he can get roasted and debunked. Because all we're going to do is speak the absolute truth, the absolute facts, and we're going to give these dudes what's real. These dudes don't want the truth. And everything that I've ever heard of any of these dudes is delusional. It's just fanboy nonsense that they're getting for Deontay Wilder. For Deontay Wilder. That's all it is. That's all it is. If anybody wants to smoke, come get it. Come get the smoke. Actual Fact Boxing, A. Santos says, BFTB bum side promotions. If he wants to smoke, tell him to step into the IBFP. I will send him a link live in front of everybody, and he can come in here and debate me. I'm not calling him out because he's nobody to me. But if he wants to debate me, this is about the 3rd or 4th guy that he's sending over here. So it sounds like he really wants some smoke. If he wants to smoke, tell him, please come to my channel. I will send him a link. We can debate. Let's get it. I'm open for business. I'm going to be here all week. It ain't a problem. I want all the smoke. All the smoke. Salute. The IBFP checking out.